All right, the suspense, I'm sure, has been killing you, but I've been given the signal we're set to begin. And we did need to wait, or wanted to wait for 7 o'clock, everybody, because although this is not part of the official council meeting, it is being live streamed, and you will be able to access a recording of this to watch yourself receive your awards over and over again if you so desire. So it is my absolute pleasure to MC this special event. I'm Councillor Ian Thorpe. Tonight we are presenting the City of Nanaimo Civic Sport Merit Awards and Art and Culture Merit Awards. And I'd like to, of course, begin by recognizing that we are holding this event on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish peoples, specifically the Snuneymuxw First Nation. It is always a tremendous pleasure to recognize talent in our city, and I have come to realize more and more over the years we have an amazing amount of talent in the city of Nanaimo. Now, each year, City Council presents certificates of congratulations along with medallions to individuals, groups, teams, and clubs who through their endeavors have brought special recognition to our city at either a provincial, Western Canadian, national, or even international level during the past year. Our awards tonight, I'll point out, are from the calendar year of 2023. In case you think we're missing somebody from fairly recently, we'll catch up on them next year, I hope. So recipients from 2023, these people have been nominated, you people have been nominated through the city website. You must be residents of the city of Nanaimo to qualify, although I will also point out that the Regional District of Nanaimo has a very similar program for residents who live in the outlying areas. And maybe most importantly, the winners that we're recognizing tonight have won gold medals in their events. So a total of 53 individuals from our city who have brought honor to Nanaimo for your outstanding performances. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin, and I think most of you are aware of the procedure now. Through the ceremony, I'm going to ask groups of individuals to come down just to this area in front of me, and then wait for your name to be called, and individually, I will ask you to proceed to my left. Councillors Manley and Eastmuir will be handing out certificates and medallions, and then after you receive those, if you would keep on moving out through the double doors to my far left, the mayor is waiting impatiently out there for the winners to go and greet him and have a photo taken with him. We're also hoping at the very end to have a large group photo if we can arrange that. It's a little bit tricky, but we'll see if we can do that as well. So, I know that some of the recipients that we're going to acknowledge are not able to be here this evening. I will try and name them anyway. And I apologize ahead of time. I will try not to mangle your names too badly. I know many of you, but some I am not familiar with. But we will acknowledge the people that could not make it here in person tonight. And that being said, let's get into our presentations. So, Councillor Manley and Eastmuir, if you could take your positions. Our first group of medal presentations are Sport Merit Awards. These are all gold medal winners at a provincial level. These people represented Nanaimo at the 2023 55-plus BC Games, which were held in Abbotsford. And I would ask, first of all, for the gold medalists from 8-ball, archery, bowling, and pickleball to come down to this area here. 8-ball, archery, bowling, and pickleball. And we are starting off with Sheila King, gold medal winner from 8-ball women's singles. Sheila, please. Yes, and thanks everybody. Again, this is not part of our formal council meeting, so please feel free to acknowledge our winners with your applause, as they certainly deserve it. And I am guessing Maureen Carr. Maureen, welcome. Please come across. Maureen won gold in 5-pin bowling women's high scratch single. And a couple of other athletes that could not be here tonight, I would like to acknowledge Bob O'Brien. He won 2 gold medals in archery events, and Megan Mitchell, women's singles pickleball. Thank you. Next, I'm going to ask a whole group of gold medal winners to come down, please, for badminton from the 55-plus games. And I will announce you alphabetically. You can just wait for a while, David. We'll get to you eventually. Well, if you're Jean Albert, which I know you are, yes, you are first, Jean, please come across. Jean Albert, gold medal in badminton. Mixed doubles competitive, a gold medal in women's doubles competitive, and another gold medal in women's singles competitive. And next we have Robert Carruthers. Robert, please. Gold medal in badminton men's doubles competitive. And Marion, is it? Drage? Thank you. Marion Drage, badminton, please come across. Gold medals in women's doubles recreational and also gold in mixed doubles recreational. Next up, Mary Mark, badminton, gold medals for Mary, please go ahead. Women's singles recreational and women's doubles recreational. Dave, thanks for waiting patiently. It's your turn.
I'm waiting for you to come to badminton as well.
You know, the mayor and I many years ago played recreational badminton, and I was so embarrassed I don't know if I'll ever come back, but it's a great sport, so thank you for the invitation. David Wong, please come across. Gold medals in badminton, men's doubles competitive, and mixed doubles competitive. And we have 4 other badminton players who did achieve gold medals who could not be here this evening. I'd like to acknowledge Tom Lewis, who won 3 golds in men's doubles recreational, mixed doubles recreational, and also men's singles recreational. G. Lynn in women's doubles recreational. Gold medal for Bill Macy in men's doubles recreational, and Ula Stetter in women's doubles recreational. And now I'll ask gold medalists from the men's 75-plus hockey team to please come forward. Gentlemen, welcome, congratulations. And again, this is from the 55-plus BC Games in 2023. Gold medals in hockey. We have first Richard Fontaine. Richard, please. And another team member, Tom Mullen. Tom, congratulations. And finally, an old friend, Henry Weeb, please. Henry, come across. Gold medals. And as Henry makes his way out to meet Mayor Krogh, I'll also acknowledge the following team members who could not be in attendance tonight: Cliff Cookman, Brian Murphy, Paul Sinclair, and Peter Westaway. Now we move to soccer. Gold medalists in men's 70-plus soccer. If you could come forward, please. Don't be shy. We have 3 of the members of the team in person here tonight. Very pleased to first recognize Les McGrath. Les, congratulations. Next, Gian Nagra. Gian, congratulations. Men's 70-plus soccer. And finally, Jack Stevens, but I don't really know, I don't think you're 70-plus. Come on, Jack, you're kidding us. Congratulations anyway. Jack and I go back a long ways to involvement in youth soccer, and he has maintained his fitness much, much better than I have. The other members of the team that could not be here this evening, I'd like to acknowledge Ada Bessigur, Barry Murphy, and Glenn Murphy as well. Next, we turn to swimming, and we're still dealing with the 55-plus games. Could gold medalists from swimming events please come down? Oh, I hear the clink of medals already, and you're going to add to that. Ladies, congratulations, and these are all multiple winners. We'll start with Inga Hornby. Inga, please. Congratulations. Inga won gold in women's 4x25 meter freestyle relay, women's 4x25 meter medley relay, and the women's 50 meter breaststroke. Next, Nancy Ryan. Good to see you, Nancy. Please come across and receive two medallions. For your gold medals in women's 4x25 meter freestyle relay and women's 4x25 meter medley relay. Nancy Ryan. And our third recipient for gold medal in swimming is Joanne Van Oosten. Joanne, please come across. Two gold medals at the 55-plus games. Women's 4x25 meter freestyle relay and women's 4x25 meter medley relay. Joanne Van Oosten. And I was just having a quick word with Joanne as she stood here because I noted that earlier this year, Lauren Van Oosten was inducted into the Nanaimo Sports Hall of Fame. Lauren took part in, among many other international events, the 2004 Olympic Games. So obviously swimming runs in the Van Oosten family, and good for them. And one other swimming athlete who could not be here with us tonight, I'd like to acknowledge Philip de Riddler. And his event was men's 4x25 meter medley relay. Philip de Ritter. Now, track and field. We have a couple of track and field gold medal winners from the 55-plus games. Could you come down, please? Thank you. We're starting with Sandra Bissesseur. I remember Sandra from last year, so please come across again. Congratulations. 55-plus games, gold medals in women's 400 meters, women's 200 meters, and women's 800 meters. And one of my personal local heroes, Sven Donaldson. Congratulations, Sven. Please go and receive your medallions. Sven won gold at the 55-plus games in men's high jump and men's triple jump. And I don't want to embarrass anybody, and I have not been mentioning specific names, but I will say that the last two athletes took part in events for athletes in the age category of 70 to 74. So Sven is still winning gold medals in high jump and triple jump. And I think that's just a real inspiration. And track and field. We have two people who could not be here this evening who were also track and field athletes who won gold medals. Sean Forstveld won gold in men's 100 meters and men's 50 meters, and Brita Passier in the women's 50-meter event as well at the 55-plus games. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to just quickly interject here. We've been talking about the 2023 55-plus games, which were in Abbotsford. The games this year just recently concluded in Salmon Arm, and we had a number of Nanaimo athletes there. In 2025, I'm really excited. If you don't already know, you probably do. The 55-plus games will be right here in Nanaimo. Diana Johnstone is the president of the organizing committee, and she has been hard at work getting directors. You'll be hearing more about this in the near future. They'll be looking for volunteers to help with the games, and I'm hoping that a number of the people who are in the the stands here tonight in the auditorium will be involved either as athletes, as I'm sure many will, or as volunteers to help make those games so happen. So please watch for that, the 2025 55-plus BC Games right here in Nanaimo. It's a big feather for our community, in our community's cap. Now, we're going to move away from the 55-plus games and go to a gold medal winner at a provincial level, pardon me. This athlete represented Nanaimo at the 2023 Taekwondo BC Championships, the BC Masters Cup, and the BC Taekwondo Championships. And I would ask Lowell Kim to come down. Is Lowell with us? So, as I said, this is not the 55-plus games anymore. So, congratulations. Did I say your name correctly? Is it Lowell? Lyle? I beg your pardon. Lyle Kim, well done. Please go and accept your medallions. Lyle won 5 gold medals. 8-9 color belt for Pumse, 8-9 color belt for sparring, and those were at the 2023 Taekwondo BC Championships. She also won sparring gold at the BC Taekwondo Championships, as well as gold in Pumse, which I understand is a series of Taekwondo techniques put together in movement. And also another gold medal from the BC Masters Cup in sparring. So congratulations, Lyle Kim. Now, our next 2 winners, gold medals at a provincial level. These 2 ladies represented Bowls, British Columbia senior women at the 2023 Senior Ladies Triples Lawn Bowling Provincial Championships. And to be honest, I didn't notice them among the crowd. If they are here, please come down. Kathleen Hewitt and Mary Mulligan, are you with us? I'm not seeing them. So could we have a round of applause, please, for Kathleen Hewitt and Mary Mulligan, gold medals in provincial lawn bowling. And our next presentation, a gold medal at a provincial level. This individual represented Nanaimo at the 2023 BC Athletics Provincial Track and Field Jamboree, also the 2023 BC High School Multi-Event Championships. And I would ask Tessa Bell to come down. Tessa? Tessa, congratulations. Please go across. Tessa won gold medals in U16 women's triple jump and grade 8 girls pentathlon. Now, folks, we're going to shift gears a little bit and go to medal winners from the arts and culture side of things. This next presentation is for gold medal winners at a national level. The following members of Fidelium represented Nanaimo at the 2023 Canadian Folk Music Awards, and I believe the following are here this evening. Please come forward if you are. I see some very smart club sweatshirts there, or hoodies. What do they call them now? Hoodies? Thank you. And we'll start with Nora Figuera. Nora, please, go ahead. Receive your medallion and certificate. Then Lucy Clan. Lucy, congratulations. Next is Katie McCulloch. Katie, well done. And also from Fidelium, Ben Rayner. Ben. And Jeremy Rayner. Jeremy, well done. And I'm also going to acknowledge the other members of Fidelium, who could not be here this evening. Olivia Crowhurst, Alistair Day, Ava Jahiri, Leo Javeri, and Lua Javeri, Micah Schneiderite, Ava Shaw, and Mia Stahuluk from Fidelium. Now, folks, we're getting to an international level award, and this is a gold medal. This person represented Team BC for swimming at the North American Indigenous Games in 2023. Kalana Cottrell. Kalana, please come forward. And go and accept your medallions. Kalana won gold medals in U14 200-meter fly and U14 50-meter fly. The international level gold medals. Congratulations to Kalana. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our awards presentation for tonight. We are going to try and get a group photo. Mr. Harding.
Just want to do if you could do a commercial about people listening at home to make sure they have athletes or even the culture that won awards to make sure they get their applications in so they can also be included.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And the applications are all through the city website? Thank you very much. Sports and culture. We'd like to see more people recognized again next year. So, again, thank you everybody for showing up this evening. Congratulations to our winners. You've really done our city proud. And I would also, just on a personal note, like to thank our city staff for organizing the program tonight. People like Darcy Osborne, Damon Johnson, Jeff Speed, Taylor Eshelby, Mr. Harding, of course, and everybody else who has helped out. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope to see you again next year. And stay tuned because our regular council meeting, which I'm sure will be almost as exciting, will be starting very shortly.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 21st regular meeting of Council. I'd like to first recognize that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation. Our clerk tonight will be Ms. Nicolina Verkar. We also have Councillor Brown attending electronically. Tonight's regular meeting of Council is being held in accordance with the Community Charter and Council Procedure Bylaw 2018, number 7272. If during the meeting any member of the gallery has a question regarding an agenda item, please write down your name and the agenda item on the question period sign-up sheet, which is on the table by the double doors to my left. Please note that the Council Procedure Bylaw has been updated, so questions will only be taken on staff reports, consent items, or other business items. I think we have a fairly experienced audience tonight, small as it is, so I'm not going to read the full direction and discussion around public behavior in a council chamber, and I trust everyone will comply with that, being familiar with it. The first item on the agenda is the introduction of late items. We have none, Ms. Verkar. A motion for adoption of the agenda, moved by Councillor Thorpe, seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Motion for adoption of the minutes is circulated. Moved Councillor Eastmere, seconded Councillor Hemmons. All those in favor? Nobody opposed? Mayor's report. I've only got one item I'm going to talk about tonight, and that is the Nanaimo Fire Rescue participating in the Fire Prevention Week. The 2024 theme is Smoke Alarms Make Them Work For You. The City of Nanaimo Fire Department is hosting an open house in support of this year's Fire Prevention Week on October 23rd, 2024 at 666 Fitzwilliam Street, the fire station. It's important that we recognize that having a smoke alarm that doesn't work is of no use at all, and smoke alarms save lives without question. So take advantage of this week to check your own smoke alarm. Some tips: install them outside each bedroom and sleeping area and on every level of your house. Make sure all smoke alarms work by testing them every month and replacing 9-volt batteries at least once a year or according to the manufacturer's recommendations. Practice a home fire escape plan so everyone in the home knows what to do when the smoke alarm sounds. Replace them every 10 years or according again to the manufacturer's recommendations. Replace broken or expired smoke alarms and drop them off for free at over 200 recycling locations across BC. And you can check that on, quote, What Goes Where tool in the Nanaimo Recyclables app for locations. We have nothing to rise and report on tonight, Mr. Carr. We have no presentations. Committee minutes are merely for receipt, and we have the minutes of the Design Advisory Panel meeting, June the 13th, 2024. The minutes of the Design Advisory Panel, June the 27th, 2024. Minutes of the Advisory Committee on Accessibility and Inclusiveness, July the 10th, 2024. Minutes of the Finance and Audit Committee meeting, July the 17th, 2024. We have a number of consent items. Unless someone's wishing to speak to one individually, I'd ask for a motion to approve. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Thank you very much. We have two delegations tonight under item 11. The first is Andrea Paris, Rezonta Club of Nanaimo's annual event. Ms. Paris, welcome. Good evening. I'd ask you to introduce yourself for the record. You'll have 5 minutes, and when there's a minute left, I'll let you know. Thanks for coming tonight.
Can you hear me good? Good, fantastic. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrea Paris. I bring 30 years of volunteer experience, one capacity or another. Today I'm not going to read you all about my report. You have it on hand. It's quite lengthy. It has some pictures in it. I am going to change the monitor. Apparently I can switch the pictures. Am I correct? Let's see. So I'm not going to read this. You are going to have it written up to you. You will have a leisure to read all what we've done. But I'd like to draw your attention to some of the pictures. The pictures speak 1,000 words. And this is just quickly, simply, I have only 5 minutes. This is the last picture from last year at Cedar High School. And I'm just setting it there. And I'm continuing with my presentation. So I bring greetings on behalf of Zonta Club of Nanaimo. I'm currently the advocacy chair, and we focus on human trafficking, bringing awareness about sexual exploitation. We're a program working with VIU School District 668. This explanation will tell you what we do, how much it costs, and what we are doing, and this is going to be our 4th year. So what I'm here today is not going to read this for you, although I have a couple of requests from you, which I'm going to read, so I'm not missing anything out. So I'm here cordially to invite you to our next event, which is going to be on February 20th at the Cedar High School. For the high school students, you're all welcome to pop in and out, see what we provide. What I'm asking for your participation is for February 22nd, 2025. It's going to be on the exact day of Human Trafficking Awareness Day at the Nanaimo Hungarian Cultural Society, and we are asking players such as yourself, the City Council, other societies, and other members of the community to come to the table and do brainstorming with us how we are going to attack and work on human trafficking. The vision we hold for our port city and surrounding areas and work towards to it that the Nanaimo will be once again a lighthouse district with respect to bringing awareness to the citizens and combating modern day slavery. To start with, we, the club, and myself would like to consider what ways the council or the city can support such cause. Researching your website, researching our area, being here for 35 years, I know personally that we all know the issue is real, but we don't have anything concrete from the part of the city how we are working with human trafficking. So if I may suggest, I would like to start with brainstorming and again invite you our February 22nd event to come as one of the interested parties and represent the city. Also, we are asking that you are supporting this cause in many ways as possible. My other suggestion is perhaps start a committee on the topic or find ways in your current committee structures, such as a public safety committee or the mayor's leader table. As I said earlier, I could not find any topics or minutes which reflected any of our human trafficking issues surrounding Nanaimo. I would like you to join us again with School District 668 and VIU. The program is very self-sufficient, it runs on a minimal cost, and it has a huge impact. As you can see, we filled up a gymnasium high schools. Asking you also to declare the need of an action on this unmanageable, profit-making, underground, organized crime to be eradicated. So I'm asking you to call on an action and help the city or bring information to the citizens that it is happening and you are actually aware of it. Lastly, making recommendation for you to join the Lieutenant Governors of BC's Human Trafficking Prevention Program. As many of you heard it at UBCM. Prince George has already joined. What an interesting event it was with respect to connecting in many different ways with all the BC elected officials. I met some of you there. I met with many staff members. And I'd just like to quickly bring it to your attention. We were right at UBCM. We have worked diligently to bring awareness. And I have brought a book for you, which we have given out, and I'm dedicating it for you to read about what is human trafficking currently is looking like in British Columbia. Also, not to toot my own horn, but our Premier Eby gave me 3 minutes of his undivided attention, how we can work together with the elected officials and the city. Reason, my original submission has changed because since then I met with him, he gave us more ideas, and I'd like to form a task force with you and move forward.
And I think you've got 1 minute left.
1 minute, here we go, I'm just changing it back. And lastly, I'd like to invite you to come to our light up. As you see, the light up happens every year on February 22nd. The bastion is purple and yellow for signifying the abuse and the First Nations, Indigenous ladies being involved as they are the highest number currently impacted. And for now, thank you for your time. I just want to let you know that I'm here to be working with you in any capacity, form, and shape. I'd like to be your one-time advisor on any of these topics. As I said, this is our 4th year, and I have many, many years of experience from healthcare and working with the public. And I'm looking forward to any of your decisions and commitment to take and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions? Councillor Prino.
Thank you, Your Worship. And just a very quick comment. Excellent presentation. Just want to make sure that for the February 22nd that you send an email to Mayor and Council, just so it'll get into our calendars, okay? Good, good, thank you.
Not seeing any other questions. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
presentation, Ms. Paris.
Thank you. I'm leaving the book with staff right here.
Yes, please. And the next is Alan Clark, Republic Works Yard Updates Borrowing Bylaw 2024, rather, number 7386. Mr. Clark, good evening. I think you know the drill. Introduce yourself for the record, 5 minutes, and when you have a minute left, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Alan Clark, and I live in Chase River. I would like to start by stating when I appear before council, I come because I have concerns or questions regarding the subject I present. I come prepared as I can, and any facts that I state, I try to my best to make sure they're factual. I never come here to attack anybody. I will make critical statements at times, and always try to give the reason why. Tonight, I have huge concerns about the Public Works Updates borrowing bylaw, and have several pertinent questions that I hope the mayor and council will actually answer. My first concern was how this estimate was created. There are no detailed architectural, mechanical, electrical, civil, or processing system drawings. None. Just conceptual architectural layouts. How can an estimate of any accuracy be created based on a concept? It would appear that this is a guesstimate at best, with little chance of being successfully executed within budget. But you, the mayor and council, have used this to bring to the citizens, to ask the citizens of Nanaimo, through a controversial AAP process, permission to borrow $90 million. How can this council present this as an accurate estimate? Further to that, this estimate does not include many costs that will add millions to the final bill. Here are a few: management and overhead costs, planning and administration costs, operational impact costs, costs associated with LEED's certification process, temporary facilities for users during construction, environmental I'll pass that word. And the big one, financing costs, which conservatively will add another $50 million to the bill. What is the true cost? 160? 200? 220? Nobody's saying. I would hope you have a better idea. From what I understand, the actual upgrade to the fleet maintenance building is just $16 million, with the crew and administration building costing another $21 million. As this building is the most expensive part of the project, except for the $28 million for a just-in-case scenario, or the $50 million for interest, it begs the question, how many office staff are required to manage the actual operation of maintenance? How many crew are working at the site that requires office space? And how many staff will this crew and administration building actually accommodate? Do they jive, or something else is happening? If the fleet maintenance building is a definite need, in this time when fiscal restraint would be prudent, why not go ahead with just that portion? If the present office space is unsafe or not enough, why not bring in some portables as a temporary fix? From what I understand, this initial project was to cost $169 million before it was trimmed back. Does the mayor and council still plan to build the original $165 million project, just using a different way? I think that's an important question. As we come to an end here, it's quite a short, there's a lot of chat on social media that there's a budget of $250,000 for wall art, paintings on the wall. I would like the council and mayor to please confirm that this is true, or that there is no budget for the wall art. Because what I'm hearing is $250,000. A lot of people are really upset about that I talked to. So maybe you can confirm that, or just put it to rest for me. As we close to the end of this AAP and the controversy surrounding the AAP process, and the way this estimate was created, in the name of democracy, I ask that the counting of the electoral response forms be counted by an independent party and not by any staff member. Mayor and council, please provide answers to these questions. Citizens of Nanaimo have a right to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not seeing any questions, Mr. Clark. You may want to send in I see it appears you were reading your presentation. You may want to send it off to us. That would be handy.
I'm sorry.
It appears you were reading your presentation.
Yes.
Well, why don't you send that to council, mayor and council?
Oh, I see what he's saying. I'm really disappointed that there's no reaction, because I did receive an email from Mr. Brown where he tore me apart, accused me of all kinds of stuff. But he made a statement that he said, while council and people like myself appearing can have discussion, sometimes fierce, it's always a welcoming place. Honestly, I have never felt welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you.
Appreciate your presentation. The next are reports, 12. The first is development permit application number DP 1358-45 Halliburton Street. Mr. Holm, good evening, please.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. Good evening. This is an amendment to an existing development permit for a 38-unit, 5-story development underway in the south end. The original development permit included a variance, height variance. You see the property outlined in red on the screen. The original development permit included a height variance from 14 meters to 15.76 meters, so a variance of 1.76 meters. This was largely to accommodate a green roof slash amenity roof area and guardrail into the design. Through the course of construction, at this point in construction, at framing stage, a survey was undertaken, identified that the building is over height by an additional 31 centimeters. So what's being requested is an amendment to the variance that was approved previously to allow for an overheight from the original 14 meters of 2.07 meters. So requesting 16.07 meters height, 31 centimeters, that's 16.07 meters in height. That's an additional 31 centimeters on top of the previously approved variance. I'm happy to take questions on this. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Holm. I'm not seeing, moved by Councillor Eastmere, seconded Councillor Perino. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. The next is small-scale multi-unit housing zoning amendment 1432 Kaz Court. Mr. Holm, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is similar to an application that was brought forward to council. The previous council meeting, subdivision, it was in process. In this case, Kaz Court, which is the College Drive area of the city. Subdivision was in process at the time of the small-scale multi-unit housing zoning amendments that took place in June of this year. Subsequently, the subdivision was completed. At the time the zoning, the small-scale multi-unit housing bylaw was introduced, the property was large enough to be exempt from the provincial small-scale multi-unit requirements. What's happened now is 2 lots have been created through subdivision from the parent parcel. The 2 lots are no longer exempt from the small-scale multi-unit housing zoning, so the R5 zoning would apply to these parcels automatically. They're no longer exempt. The city has to undertake rezoning of the properties. No public hearing is allowed, and the bylaw in this case would proceed subject to council's approval, obviously, through to adoption today, as no public hearing is required nor allowed. I'm happy to take questions on this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not seeing any questions. Councillor Manley?
I move that zoning amendment bylaw 2024, number 4500.234, amendment to implement the provincial small-scale multi-unit housing legislation receive first reading.
Seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I move that zoning amendment bylaw 2024, number 4500.234, receive second reading.
Seconded Councillor Perino. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I move that zoning amendment bylaw 2024, number 4500.234, receive third reading.
Seconded Councillor Hemmons. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
And I move that zoning amendment bylaw 2024, number 4500.234, receive final adoption.
Seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Holm. The next is the property tax repayment plan bylaw. Ms. Mercer, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship. So currently, the city has a property tax prepayment plan where monthly installments are withdrawn from the property owner's bank account, and any amount left owing at July 1st each year is shown on the property tax notice and is the responsibility of the homeowner to pay. So the existing bylaw that outlines all of the rules around this plan was adopted in 1995 and requires a number of housekeeping updates. So the four main areas that were updated were the updates to the interest section of the bylaw to make it clearer. So per the community charter, the city pays interest on tax installments per legislation, and the rate is set each quarter and were updated from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. NSF fees and administrative fees were removed from the bylaw as those are outlined in the fees and charges bylaw. So we eliminated the duplication there. We removed the reference to the Municipal Act and replaced it with the Local Government Act or the Community Charter, as the Municipal Act was replaced by the Local Government Act in 1998. So it's been quite out of date. The bylaw will now allow pre-authorized payments for properties with arrears and delinquent taxes owing to provide an opportunity for taxpayers struggling to keep up their property tax accounts. And the previous plan didn't allow for this. So those are the four main changes to the bylaw, and staff are looking for first three readings.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mercer. Thank you for the work of your department on this. Any questions for Ms. Mercer? Not seeing any. Councillor Manley, please.
I move that property tax prepayment plan bylaw 2024, number 7390, a bylaw to authorize a property tax prepayment plan, passed first reading.
Seconded Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Councillor Manley.
I move that property tax prepayment plan bylaw 2024, number 7390, pass second reading.
Seconded Councillor Hemmons. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I move that property tax prepayment plan bylaw 2024, number 7390, pass third reading.
Seconded Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you very much. The next is user rates auto debit plan. Ms. Mercer, please, again.
Thank you. So currently the city has two automatic payment plans that are available relating to user rates. So that's your water, sewer, and garbage bill. And neither of which has been formalized in a bylaw like the property tax prepayment plan that we just discussed. So the two plans that we have are the auto debit plan, and this is where the amount owing on each bill is directly withdrawn from the property owner's bank account on the due date. We approximately have about 3,429 properties enrolled in this program, and there are several benefits to property owners by being on the plan. So you automatically receive your 5% discount for paying on time, and there's no outstanding balances at the end of the year that we would otherwise have to roll to taxes. The second plan is the equal payment plan, and this is where the same amount is withdrawn each month out of a property owner's bank account, and to cover the 3 billings that happen per year. So currently we have about 2,154 properties that are enrolled in this plan. And the intention of the plan was to be a prepayment program. However, that hasn't really turned out to be how many accounts on the plan have materialized. So many of the properties do not have their accounts fully paid with the equal payment plan. So it hasn't been as successful as we would have liked, and it causes administrative nightmares when properties change ownership or when there's adjustments needed on the account. So what staff are recommending is that the auto debit plan remain in place as is and be formalized in a bylaw, and that the equal payment plan be discontinued and gradually phased out for properties that are currently on it. So the existing properties on the plan will stay on until there is a change in ownership or if there is a voluntary withdrawal or change. And so with that, staff are looking for first 3 readings of this new bylaw.
Thank you very much. Any questions from Ms. Mercer? Councillor Thorpe,
Yeah, I do
please.
have a question. Thank you, Your Worship, very much through you. Thanks, Ms. Mercer. I'm aware of situations that arise occasionally when a citizen who has signed up for this auto debit program, and they are appreciative of it, but they have a problem when their credit card is perhaps compromised. And then by the time that gets sorted out and a new credit card is issued, the city doesn't recognize their old credit card to take away the payment, and that causes complications. I'm wondering if we come across that very often, and is there any way of dealing with that efficiently?
So through your worship to Councillor Thorpe, currently we do not take credit card payments for user rate bills. So taxes and user rates we don't allow credit card payments for that, so that really wouldn't be an issue with that. There are some other fees that we do accept credit cards for, but those 2 we do not.
All right, I must be mistaken in my statement then. I thought it was user rates. Perhaps it was city taxes.
Neither taxes or user rates we
All right,
accept to
no,
credit
I
cards.
apologize. I'll have to check on my facts.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but there are other fees that we that we do take credit cards for. I think we do for pardon me? Parks, Rec, and Culture. They allow credit cards. Certain building fees you can pay with credit cards. Dog licenses perhaps, and business licenses. So there are some services that you can pay with a credit card, but taxes and user rates we don't. And the reason for that is the credit card fees are a cost to the city, and that we would have to raise taxes to pay for those. And we have looked at credit card options where the fee is paid by the holder of the credit card. We have looked at options like that.
All right, thank you. I must be mistaken then, so I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. No further questions. Councillor Manley, please.
I move that user rate auto debit plan bylaw 2024 number 7391, a bylaw to authorize a user rates auto debit plan, pass first reading.
Seconded Councillor Hemmons. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Councillor Manley.
I move that user rates auto debit plan bylaw 2024 number 7391, pass second reading.
Seconded Councillor Perino. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I move that user rate auto debit plan bylaw 2024 number 7391, pass third reading.
Seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. The next are bylaws. Yes. Councillor Hemmons, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have to excuse myself from this one. I have a conflict as I sit on the board of one of the organizations applying for the permissive tax exemption.
Very good. Thank you. Councillor Manley, please.
I move that permissive tax exemption bylaw 2024 number 7388, a bylaw to exempt certain land and building from taxation, be adopted.
Seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Carr, thank you. Bring back Councillor Hemmons. The next is correspondence. It's the Mid-Island Elder College Society request for letter of support re-community gaming grant. And they have, there's a motion in front of us that we provide a letter of support for their application to community gaming grant. Moved by Councillor Perino, seconded by Councillor Eastmere. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. We have Councillor Armstrong's motion, but Councillor Armstrong's not in attendance tonight. Sorry, pardon me, this is just a notice, yes. Good. All right, we'll consider notice taken. The next is Councillor Eastmere under other business, a motion directing staff to prepare a report on options to provide 2-hour free parking within city-owned parkades during the commercial street redesign project. Councillor Eastmere.
Can I speak to it before it's seconded?
I'll second it.
Thank you. I was going to let you actually move it properly speaking, but Councillor Manley seconds.
Thank you.
Councillor Eastmere?
Yes, thank you. So earlier, council had approved free parking on Commercial Street, but the fact is that really only opened up to 23 spots on Commercial and a couple on Skinner. So in speaking to downtown business owners, it hasn't really made much of a dent in their ability to say that there is free available parking downtown. And given that my motion is asking for a staff report on options to provide 2-hour free parking in the parkades, I would appreciate moving this now so that we are prepared when the Christmas and holiday shopping season rolls around, so that we might be able to open up some space in the parkades to draw more folks downtown to support our amazing downtown businesses.
Thank you. Councillor Gesselbrock?
Thanks, through you, Mayor. Yeah, I definitely think that we should, you know, be bending over backwards to try to help the downtown businesses while the construction is going on. It's quite disruptive, and I think the free parking does go a long way. You know, it may not be in the parkade, it may not be the full parkade, obviously, but it'd be interesting to see a report on what we could do, a portion of it. I had an interesting conversation with a business owner. You know, some places they do parking remittances. So basically, if you park in the parkade and you go downtown to a downtown shop and you buy something, you can get your parking back, and that would be an interesting link. I don't know how we could work that, but if it does fit within the parameters of what a council is able to do in terms of support, then that would be interesting to look at. But if there is a willingness, you know, to support this, it'd be great if staff could, you know, cursorily look at the different options that would be available. Thank you.
Thank you. In order, Councillors Hemmons and then Manley.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm happy to support for the reasons given. My question through you to staff is, I understood, or I recall in a previous report not that long ago, when we were looking at providing on-street free parking, we had some estimates for what it would cost to include the parkades. So that's great. I feel like we have that information at the ready and we can pop it into the next report, but I am curious about these nuances of, is it the whole parkade? Is it 25% of the parkade? Can we look at some unique opportunities like validating parking with purchases with downtown businesses? So support, and I think I'm just confirming that we have had information on costing within the last 6 months. Yes, I'm seeing a nod. Okay.
Mr. Sims, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. Yes, we can provide that information. We've compiled it, and that can be part of the discussion. I would just like to make a note that the free parking is in the downtown core, not just on Commercial. So it's several dozen spots, in fact, that have the free 2-hour parking.
If I may, I think having that information specifically in the report would be really great. Exactly how many spots are we dealing with? How many are we looking to increase, et cetera? That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Manley?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm happy to support this as well. I think anything we can do to help the downtown businesses, especially leading up to the Christmas season. One of the things that wasn't in the report was a parking validation option, which I think was something that happened in the early days for businesses with the convention center, that some of the leaseholders, I seem to recall, but it's a good option because people that do support those businesses then could get their parking validated, and we could work out some way to ensure that people who do support the businesses get their parking for free. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thorpe, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I'm prepared to support this. I'm hoping, and I think I'm hearing that it won't be too labor-intensive for staff to come back with this report, because we are talking about basically a short-term solution. So if the time and effort needed to prepare this report and then follow through on it potentially is not worth it in the long term, then I would have some qualms. But I'm prepared to move ahead because I think some of this information is already available. And I'll also support it, Your Worship, I have to say, because I'm really encouraged by the fact that Council is interested in the issue of parking and the need for parking and the need for parking in our downtown. And I would love to see the report include options for increasing parking options downtown, such as expanding the Bastion Street Parkade. But I suspect that would not be considered a friendly amendment, so I won't bother going there today. However, I think it is a topic that we need to consider. Parking is crucial to getting people into our downtown. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thorpe. I suspect if we were playing Battleship, someone would be thinking their battleship was sunk. Before I indicate how I'm going to vote, I must say I think most of the information that would relate to this report, particularly with respect to the parkades, was in fact provided to us earlier. And it indicated pretty clearly there were significant complexities with it, that it would look like a goodwill gesture, but it would be very, very limited in terms of providing actual 2-hour free parking in our parkades. I'm not prepared tonight just because I'm tired and I'm not interested in having some long debate about it. I am prepared to support the motion, but I will be less than honest if I didn't say I'm somewhat disappointed, given the information we received earlier, that Council wants to go back and revisit this when that information was largely available. Now, I see Councillors Gesselbrock and Eastmere wish to say something more, and they're certainly welcome to do so, but I have not heard anyone who's going to vote against the motion, so I trust they'll have something interesting to say. Please, Councillor Gesselbrock.
Thank you, Mayor, for being so gracious.
No, I'm not.
In the report, I know that the one option of the parkade wasn't pursued because, there were complications in the sense that there are people that are paying for long-term parking, but in discussion it did come up that if we looked at that 2-hour limit and maybe limiting a portion of it, that we could overcome that challenge and at least be able to provide something. So that was one of the avenues hoping to pursue investigation on. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Eastmere.
Thank you. And just in response, we had the estimate of the impact to the street parking costs, but I don't believe that the impact to the money recouped through the parkades was part of the original report. And at the time, staff had said that it would be possible to make something work in the parkades, but it would require some signage and appropriate management of the spaces. And they, at the time, suggested that that could come to council in the future if we heard from business owners that offering the free parking on the street was not having much of an impact. And so given that we've have had some time since that original decision, and I have spent a lot of time downtown speaking to people about the spaces that are open, I think this is appropriate. So I appreciate the support on this.
Thank you very much. Councillor Thorpe, cars win the day. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Question period. Ms. Farquhar? The first item is Jeff Annesley on 10.1 and 10.6, Nanaimo Restorative Justice Program Overview and the 2025 Project Contingency. Please.
Hello, Jeff Annesley, resident of Nanaimo. In terms of 10.1, just because I didn't hear any discussion, what is the extra 100,000 for, and why was it necessary? the restorative justice program, as you're increasing the budget from 50,000 to 100,000. I was just wondering, just wanted to get a quick breakdown of exactly what the 100,000 was for.
Councillor Eastmere.
So we had a very detailed delegation from from Nanaimo, or Connective, which is the organization in Nanaimo that runs the restorative justice program. That was at our last Finance and Audit Committee meeting, and I'd recommend going back to hear that presentation, because they essentially have only a 0.7 full-time staff member running the entire program. And we didn't actually decide to increase it by that amount. What's going to happen is that item will come back to us for consideration during the budget process. And we've also referred it to the Public Safety Committee for feedback on their thoughts on potentially funding that program with more money, because they haven't had an increase to the budget of that program for, I believe it was 15 years or 18 years.
Okay, so it's hiring a new person, is that what or a new paid position, is that what I kind of heard from that?
Yes, so it would be to fund at least one full-time and I believe one additional staff member, but we did have a very comprehensive delegation on it.
Okay.
So I'd encourage you, I can send the link.
Sure,
to
or,
that
yeah,
video.
from the last Finance and Audit Committee, I can watch that one again. The second one, in terms of the...
Sorry, Councillor Gesselbrock wanted to...
Oh, sorry.
No, the extra $100,000 would go to bring the 0.7 staff person up to full-time.
Yep.
And then for another, hire an additional full-time staff person.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and 10.6.
Yeah, in terms of this question, and this is touched on a little bit what Mr. Clark said, I just wanted to know, just because it is a project contingency fund, do you intend on the Public Works Yard to continue and actually finish the project that was originally, the first two AAPs, and if so, has there been discussions on how that would be funded? Would it be funded through different means in terms of, from the reserves or extra taxation, or just a project contingency fund?
I'm not honestly sure your question relates to item 10.6, but I'm going to ask Ms. Mercer to respond to explain the $890,000 general fund project contingency budget for 2025 to 2029. Ms. Mercer, please.
So we have, in previous years, we've had smaller contingencies within Public Works and PRC. Last year, we consolidated those into one budget. We took it at 3% of the 2024 capital plan and came up with our contingency amount, which was funded from surplus. We've done the same thing again this year. We lowered it to 2.5% of the 2025 capital project plan, and again, with the recommendation that it be funded from 2024 surplus that we anticipate we'll have. It's to cover, unexpected things that come up in a project that wasn't anticipated. Those are smaller projects. We have a lot of them, sometimes that they come over slightly over budget, and then we have a pot to pull from.
There are literally, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of small projects that are covered every year in the city's budget.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I have to advise you, Ms. Paris, that asking a question about a delegation is not permitted under the rules relating to council. You can't ask yourself your own question, but thank you for the try. And Mr. Collin, same thing. You're asking about a delegation, and again, the procedure bylaw was updated, as I mentioned at the start of the meeting, so that questions will only be taken on staff reports, consent items, or other business items. All right. Moved Councillor Perino, seconded Councillor Manley. All those in favor? Any opposed? Done. Motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone.